On a recent tape, you referred to when a thought feels like it's thinking you. And I would appreciate some relief and clarity on this. I find myself irritated a lot by my husband. We co-create a magnificent business and life together. He is the most rambunctious, joy-seeking being I've ever met. That's why I married him. He's fantastic. But I can't explain why. I'm irritated so often, and I don't want to be. I want to live in harmony.
Mostly, you really, really, really want to feel good.
Yes.
And when you are watching someone feeling good, they're sort of reminding you of what you want. And so if you're not feeling what you want and they're out there doing it, it's sort of like a reminder at many levels that this is the way it is supposed to be. And so it would exaggerate your sense of distance between your vibration of desire and your vibration of where you are just by making you aware of where you want to be. But the other thing is, when you are co-creating with someone who has, on occasion, and in this case often, done things that make you feel good, in other words, deliberately done something for this single exercise of helping you to feel better, then what happens is you sort of grow a dependency for that. When someone does something by changing a circumstance or moving something physically, and the result is that you feel better, then because you always want to feel better, then there's the tendency to keep looking to them to continue to do things like that. And they can continue it to a certain extent. As you know, in relationships, many of you are much more giving with your partners than you were in the beginning, as you've learned what one another likes and as you grow together. But you are upon an impossible path when you take it upon yourself to be the one who manipulates circumstances so that your partner can be happy. And so they always end up falling short. It's an entrapment that no one can win in. If you start out by manipulating things in order to help anyone feel better, whether it's a grandchild or whether it's a friend or whether it's a stranger, and they are part of your life very much, watch them. They'll start watching for more and 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 more of that, because it's a natural thing that when something happens that feels good, that you would want some more of that. And we are not suggesting that you should withhold it, but you should always at the same time let them know that you are not the vortex through which their well-being flows. You can be a partial vortex, you can be one of the avenues through which well-being flows, but assure them steadily that there are millions of other ways through which their well-being will flow. Otherwise, whenever they get into a place where not too much well-being is flowing because they're pinching it off, they will blame you for it. And we think that's what's happening with your mate. You know intellectually that it cannot be that way, but it feels emotionally that way, because people who you love the most do seem to hold the power over the way you feel. You start out with your mother, who wants so much for you to feel good, and she will do almost anything in her power to soothe your discomfort. And here you are, all of these years later, all of you, and we are wanting to say to you, let your mother off the hook and start soothing your own discomfort. You've got to soothe your own discomfort. You've got to stop giving her the power or the credit for what goes wrong, and in doing so, you will regain your own power. But until you make that decision, you will never be satisfied. And we think that that is something that the two of you intended to help each other really remember when you came forth into this physical experience.
The edge feels like I can get up in the morning and make those determinations, and I'm fine. These irritations, though, seem to pop up. I feel like I'm not pre-thinking it or anything. Just
well, that's why you're saying it feels like your thoughts are thinking you,
yeah.
and you heard us repeating it from someone who sat in the chair. He said, Abraham, it feels like my thoughts are thinking me rather than I'm thinking my thoughts. And that's because you think a thought and then you have a feeling response. So as you've thought the thought and now you're having the feeling response, often you're not even really aware of the thought you thought until you're having the feeling response of it. So it feels like you're sort of out of control. And that's why we're encouraging you to think the thought, whether you're doing it deliberately or not, and then have the feeling response. And when you have the feeling response, if it doesn't feel like you wanted it to feel, then set forth the intention to feel different. Talk about a thought thinking you. Let's take that to an extreme. So something annoyed me. I didn't know it. So I just let it annoy me, and I started commenting about it annoying me. And now it is annoying me more because now I'm attracting more annoying evidence of it. And now I've attracted enough annoying evidence of it that now I'm talking to others, and law of attraction is bringing me together with others who have the same annoying evidence happening to them. So now we all agree that it's just the way life is going, and now we're concerned enough that we think we should join a group about how to prevent this annoying thing from happening. So now we joined this group about this annoying thing that's happened, and now we've got a current going. Now we're trying to write legislation about it. Now we're trying to enforce rules about it. Now we're out on speaking tours about it, because this is really a problem that the world needs to know about, and it's getting to be more of a problem every day, especially for us, because we have activated this in our vibration in a very, very powerful way. So now, not only have we been aware of it for a very long time, but now there's evidence all around us about it. And since we really want to be over there and we're really over here, there's a huge difference in our vibrational frequency. And now I'm getting a sort of pain in my back. In other words, it's gone beyond something that's just mildly annoying or something that's really bothering me. Now I have physical evidence of my own resistance. But now the physical evidence of my own resistance is dragging me around by the hair. In other words, talk about a thought that's thinking me. And we say, the thought never did think you, but when you think thoughts and you don't think thoughts on purpose and you get a vibration activated within you, and law of attraction helps the entire universe to respond to the vibration you've got going, we can see how you'd lose your sense of control, even though you're the only one who has control of your experience. So what you want to begin doing is just saying, no big deal, I can start wherever I am. And I'm just going to speak to myself in the way I would speak to anybody that I care about, in a way that soothes them. In other words, when a child is upset, you try to soothe it. You try to make the child feel more confident. You try to let the child know that everything is all right or going to be all right. You try to convince them that this is a temporary state of being and that it's not significant in the long run and that it really doesn't mean so much. You try to soothe them or distract them from whatever it is that's bothering them to bring them back to their place of comfort. And this is exactly the same thing, except you are applying it to yourself. The one who is around you most, who wants to feel good, who wants you to feel good, who does a very good job of soothing to a certain extent. And when he reaches the point that that's it, he's not going to soothe anymore, you get really, really irritated.
And when he's off enjoying his own life, it's like, hey.
Yes, he should suffer as much as you if he's a good friend, yes.
And it irritates me more these days since I started studying you.
We know.
Because now I know.
You have our deepest apology.
Yeah, really. Screwed it up. Okay.
But in the long run, it is so good to know that you have control of your own experience. In other words, that's the only place you will ever get freedom from. In other words, freedom is only about knowing that no matter what, I can feel how I choose to feel, no matter what. Because otherwise, you are a slave to circumstances, you are a slave to other people's intentions, then you got to do all that impossible stuff in order to feel good. But when you discover that somehow, some way, you can bring yourself into a place of feeling better just because you choose to, and because you can select the thoughts you think, now you are free. And now you can go out into the world. And now the universe will yield to you all kinds of conditions and circumstances that are life-giving. Otherwise, you got to get into a very solitary place with hardly anybody around, and it's lonely there. And so you can't have it both ways. In other words, you're a creator, there's lots of others around you, you just got to get used to it, and you got to decide that you're going to be happy no matter what they're doing, and show yourself that you can be, and then watch how the universe selectively sifts from among them and brings the best of them to you. Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, indeed. Yes.